Why Sejong? Why now? Why Jungkook? The monumental choice that has ARMY convinced BTS is preparing its most ambitious comeback ever. Is this just a teaser? Or is history about to repeat itself on a scale K-pop has never seen before? Why would BTS choose the Sejong Center for the Performing Arts, the largest and most symbolically charged cultural complex in South Korea, if what they were preparing was anything less than monumental? And why, amid the storm of speculation, does one name keep rising to the surface of every theory, every whisper, every late-night ARMY discussion across continents? Jungkook. On the morning of January 4th, 2026, Seoul woke up to something that did not feel like marketing. It felt like a signal. At the Sejong Center for the Performing Arts, located at the very heart of Gwanghwamun Square, an installation appeared that instantly stopped foot traffic and ignited social media. Massive white letters spelling BTS stretched across the iconic stairs against a stark black background, with a date beneath them that felt less like information and more like a declaration. March 20th, 2026. A new logo, unfamiliar yet unmistakably deliberate, completed the visual message. There was no press release, no official statement,
no explanation.
And that silence is precisely what made the moment explode. Within minutes, real-time photos shared by the X account at Suha3626 went viral. Sejong Cultural Center real-time, now BTS. It looks like something really big is coming. Anyway, when will my golden membership mail arrive? The caption read, casual in tone but seismic in impact. Thousands of likes and reposts followed, not because ARMY needed confirmation, but because they recognized the language of scale. This was not subtle. This was not minimal. This was not something done by accident. The Sejong Center is not a random billboard. It is not a subway ad. It is not a digital teaser designed to disappear in a timeline. It is a national cultural landmark, positioned between the statue of King Sejong the Great and the constant flow of citizens, tourists, artists, diplomats, and students. This is a place associated with state ceremonies, world-class orchestras, historic performances, and moments meant to be remembered. For many fans, the question was immediate and unavoidable. Why here, if not to announce something that transcends a typical comeback? As reactions poured in, the tone across social media was not merely excitement, but disbelief. This comeback promo is insane, wrote at Kukyeon, emphasizing that the Sejong Center is the largest arts and cultural complex in Seoul. At Irmasop echoed the sentiment with raw emotion, declaring, Sejong Cultural Center is being decorated for BTS comeback. My god, how big the comeback is gonna be. This is crazy. It's happening. BTS is coming. The reaction crossed borders within hours, with Thai, Indonesian, European, and American ARMY translating, reposting, and decoding every visible detail.
The date,
the font, the placement, the memory, because this was not the first time BTS had spoken through Sejong. In 2023, during their group hiatus, the same location hosted the iconic BTS Presents Everywhere advertisement, a message that reassured fans of presence even in absence. As one user, at Lazawane, reminded everyone, this was the same space, right in the middle of Gwanghwamun Square, where BTS had previously made a statement that resonated far beyond fandom. That historical continuity matters, because BTS has always treated location as language. They choose places that mean something. And then came the deeper theory, the one that refused to fade. This location is too big, too loaded, too public to represent a simple date announcement. If Sejong is the stage, who stands at the center of it? That is where Jungkook enters the conversation, not a speculation pulled from thin air, but as a logical focal point of the era BTS is about to enter. Jungkook, the youngest member, the main vocalist, the performer often positioned at the center during defining moments, has long symbolized transition within BTS. From debut to global domination, from youth to maturity, Jungkook has often been the bridge between eras. Now, as BTS prepares to reunite after completing mandatory military service, fans are asking a question that feels both emotional and strategic. Could Jungkook be the face that opens the post-military chapter of BTS? To understand why this theory holds weight, one must understand what March 20th, 2026 represents. This is not merely a comeback date. It arrives after years of anticipation, separation, individual growth, and national duty. BTS went on group hiatus in 2022, choosing responsibility over momentum, a decision that reshaped the industry. Jeon returned first in 2024, followed gradually by the other members through 2025. By the end of that year, HYB confirmed what fans had been waiting to hear. BTS would resume full group activities in 2026. The Sejong installation, therefore, is not starting a promotion cycle. It is closing a chapter of waiting. And when chapters close, symbolism matters. ARMY has been quick to note that Jungkook's image, voice, and performance style align perfectly with the reintroduction of BTS to a global audience that has changed during their absence. The industry is louder now, faster, more crowded, yet Jungkook remains one of the most recognizable figures in global pop culture, capable of commanding attention without explanation. If BTS intends to make a statement that they are not returning quietly, placing Jungkook at the visual or symbolic center would be both emotionally resonant and strategically powerful. This does not diminish the roles of RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, or V. On the contrary, BTS has always functioned as a constellation rather than a hierarchy. But even constellations have focal stars, points that guide the eye. Fans speculate that Jungkook may open the first performance, carry the first vocal line, or appear as the first silhouette revealed when the lights come on. Others believe the symbolism runs deeper, that Jungkook represents the continuity of BTS's youth and future, standing at the intersection of who they were and who they are becoming. What intensifies this belief is the scale of the Sejong Center itself. This is a venue designed for orchestras, operas, and national performances. Its architecture demands grandeur. Minimalism would be lost here. Subtlety would disappear. Choosing Sejong suggests that whatever is coming is meant to be seen, remembered, and discussed not only by fans, but by the nation and the world. This is not content designed to trend for a day. It is a message designed to echo. HYB's silence has only amplified the speculation.
No denial, no confirmation, no explanation.
In the absence of official words, fans have turned to patterns, history, and instinct. BTS has never wasted symbolism. Dates are chosen carefully. Locations are deliberate. Visuals are layered. When something appears this boldly, without context, it is because the context is meant to be revealed slowly, dramatically, on their terms. The hashtag BTS Comeback 2026 surged globally, joined by hashtag #Siscoming, as fans shared memories of past eras, imagined stage designs, and debated what form March 20th might take. Is it an album release? A global live stream? A concert announcement? A single that introduces a new sound? Or something unprecedented? A hybrid of performance, art installation, and national event that only BTS could attempt. Within those conversations, Jungkook's name appears again and again, not as favoritism, but as narrative sense. He debuted as a teenager and returns as a fully formed global artist. He left for military service at the height of his individual recognition and returns at a moment when BTS needs a bridge between legacy and renewal. Fans see him not replacing anyone, but opening a door. What cannot be ignored is how emotional this moment feels. The installation at Sejong is not playful. It is stark, black and white, bold, confident. It does not ask for attention. It assumes it. That tone mirrors the maturity BTS has gained through absence. This is not the energy of a group asking if they are still relevant. This is the energy of artists reminding the world who set the standard. As people continue to pass through Gwanghwamun Square, thousands every day seeing the name BTS carved visually into the steps of one of Korea's most important cultural spaces, the message sinks in deeper. This comeback is not just for fans. It is for history. And history requires a center. Whether Jungkook ultimately stands at that center as a visual anchor, a vocal opening, or a symbolic figure remains to be seen. What is clear is that the choice of Sejong Cultural Center has reframed expectations entirely. This is no longer about a teaser. It is about scale, legacy, and intention. It is about BTS stepping back into the public eye not as returning idols, but as cultural architects. The question remains, lingering in the cold January air of Seoul and across timelines worldwide. If this is only the beginning, what could possibly come next? And when the lights finally go up on March 20th, 2026, will it be Jungkook who stands first at the center of the stage, opening the most ambitious era BTS has ever dared to imagine? The world is watching. And BTS, once again, has chosen a stage too big to ignore. And yet, as the days pass and the installation at Sejong Cultural Center remains standing like an unanswered question carved into stone and concrete, the speculation only grows heavier, deeper, more intense. Because what BTS has ignited here is not just anticipation, but a collective memory resurfacing all at once. Fans are no longer asking whether BTS is coming back. That certainty has already settled. The real question now is how they will return, who will speak first, and what message this comeback is meant to deliver to an industry that moved on while still orbiting their shadow. Observers inside South Korea's entertainment circles quietly note something important. Major cultural landmarks like Sejong Center are rarely used for campaigns without multi-layered approval, coordination, and long-term vision. This is not a decision made for shock value alone. It suggests planning that began months, perhaps years ago, aligning precisely with the end of military service schedules and the symbolic rebirth of BTS as a complete unit. In that sense, Sejong is not merely a backdrop. It is a declaration of intent. BTS is not returning to reclaim charts alone. They are returning to reclaim cultural space, and this is where Jungkook's perceived centrality becomes even more compelling. Among all 7 members, Jungkook represents a paradox that perfectly suits this moment. He is both the most universally accessible and deeply tied to BTS's core identity. His voice is often the first non-fans recognize. His performances frequently anchor BTS's choreography. His presence bridges generations of listeners, from those who discovered BTS during Dynamite to those who grew up with I Need You. If BTS wants the world to listen again without explanation, Jungkook is the sound that requires none. ARMY has also pointed out how the black and white visual language of the Sejong installation mirrors the stark simplicity often associated with Jungkook's most impactful moments.
No excessive color. No playful motifs.
Just clarity, confidence, and restraint. This visual maturity feels aligned with a Jungkook who has grown through solitude, service, and silence, emerging not louder, but steadier. For many fans, this is not coincidence. It feels like foreshadowing. Behind the scenes, industry analysts are already speculating about the ripple effects. A BTS comeback anchored by a central figure like Jungkook, even symbolically, could reset how K-pop approaches post-hiatus narratives. Military service has long been treated as a pause, sometimes even a risk. BTS appears to be reframing it as a transformation, returning not fragmented, but fortified. Jungkook, having entered service as the youngest, now emerges as a figure representing completion. The cycle has closed. The group is whole again. What also fuels the emotional intensity is how long ARMY has lived in uncertainty. Years of solo releases, military updates, and scattered appearances required patience and faith. The Sejong installation feels like a reward for that endurance, but also a test. BTS is asking fans to trust the silence once more, to sit with unanswered questions, to read meaning in restraint. This has always been part of their relationship with ARMY. They do not shout when they can whisper. And whispers, in the right setting, echo louder. As March 20th draws closer, theories evolve daily. Some believe the Sejong Center will serve as the site of a live orchestral performance broadcast globally, merging pop and high art. Others imagine a cinematic reveal, where Jungkook appears alone first, not to dominate, but to invite the others in one by one, visually representing reunion. There are even whispers of a new album concept rooted in time, memory, and national identity, themes that would naturally align with a venue named after King Sejong, the creator of Hangul. None of this has been confirmed. And that is precisely the point. BTS has always understood that anticipation, when guided carefully, becomes part of the art. The lack of official statements from HYB is not absence. It is design. Every day the installation remains untouched. Every night it stands illuminated. It gathers meaning from those who pass by it. Office workers, students, tourists, fans, skeptics. Everyone sees the same name, the same date, and asks themselves the same question: what happens when BTS steps back into this space? For Jungkook, the weight of expectation is immense, but so is the trust. Fans do not project this role onto him lightly. They remember the boy who once said he wanted to become someone ARMY could be proud of. They remember the performer who carried finales with trembling intensity. They remember the artist who never stopped evolving. In this new era, Jungkook as a central figure is not about spotlight, but about continuity. He embodies the promise that BTS made long ago and never broke.